Hello and welcome to another week of Blunt Rankings here on the Blunt Lemons, where we take a movie franchise every week and rank a element of it against the other ones. This week we're doing Alien, as you probably guessed from the title, and I'm a little rusty, so I'm not going to try anything too fancy and just tell you that Dion is here. He's in the building.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed in a building. Some might call it a home.
Not many.
Well, okay, damn, well, straight in with the insults. Joe, I know it's a bit nicer than the cardboard box you live in, but you can also introduce yourself to the audience now.
Hi, I'm Joe. I live in a cardboard box and my dog's dead. That doesn't make sense. It was a joke, okay?
Well, YouTube will never know that. They have to. YouTube, every Monday, hopefully, fingers crossed, if things don't go horribly wrong, we're meant to be here on Twitch live. So if you want the, startling realization about Joe's miserable life, you can go to Twitch every Monday and find that out before we start actually recording this podcast.
Exactly.
Indeed. Or you can watch the VOD afterwards just to get the context.
Yes, see, we're getting people in. We're luring them.
It's a cross-media event. Speaking of a cross-media event, me and Ben planned something truly special for some milestone in the future. Ben, introduce yourself to the fine people.
Hello everyone, I'm Ben. How's your back end, Chris?
Stop it.
Supple is how I describe it.
Supple as a spring lamb.
Well,
On...
There's a reason we haven't done this in a while. Twitch banned us for saying these things.
Let's hope they don't.
Let's hope they never find out.
You can't get banned. Well, you can get banned for what you say. What am I saying? Anyway, as I mentioned, and as you probably figured out from the title of this video/stream, we are talking about Alien, released on the 25th of May 1975, and which will probably be the oldest film we ever cover in this series ever. Assuming, I'm thinking of the films that we might likely cover, the franchises we might likely cover, and I'm like, Star Wars is probably like the oldest. I don't watch films before the 1970s.
We're gonna get to Citizen Kane ranked.
All one of them.
It's a Wonderful Life ranked. I think
I
there's
highly
only
doubt
one of those.
Great franchises all around here.
I mean,
Very
if
rankable.
you are considering it torture or not, we could go to the classic movie monsters.
Make me watch them, and I will find you and kill you. Okay? There's only one movie I watched before 1970, and that's Zulu. Outside of that, I don't watch any of the 1960s or 50s films.
Why?
When those Dracula films with Christopher Lee, they're old.
Let's have a look.
We,
You carry on whilst I'm looking this up.
we are not going this far back into
1958.
God.
There you go,
Oh,
1958.
and there are
Do
also
that.
like 25 trillion of these monster films.
Yes.
Yes.
They were the original cinematic universe before people remembered that they existed.
Well, feel free to put them up to a vote, and if people
Well-
really want to see me suffer, then we can do it.
You can either watch those or the new Dark Universe films. Take your pick.
I would so much rather watch those.
No, fuck off.
No.
I'll watch the old films.
Have you seen The Mummy?
Yes, I have! It's hilarious, it's awful!
Have you seen Tom Cruise fly out of a plane? Actually, that's pretty funny.
I've seen that in like many
I was
Tom
gonna
Cruise
say,
films.
That's true.
That's part of the course at this point.
He does it every Mission Impossible nowadays.
That's how he gets to work. Just jumps out of a plane.
He
There's
jumps
a
out.
lot. There's a lot of crashed planes.
He jumps out of a plane and shouts at everyone about not wearing masks. Hey.
Hey.
Or at least not
Zing-a-ling.
wearing them properly because people put them on and then fucking take them off under their nose. It's annoying.
That's the
Nah,
best
but
thing.
good on him. Probably. Anyway.
Good not on the people who take them off and put them under the nose.
Or maybe
good on
not.
those people.
Maybe not good on him because he's probably weird. I don't know.
I have no segue into the budget for Alien, but it cost $11 million to make. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it? That's 1970s money, so that's probably like a $50 billion nowadays.
I don't know what Star Wars' budget was. I know I'm already comparing it to Star Wars, but like it's like the only science fiction thing at the time I can think of. So
I have
curious.
no idea.
I don't know. Again, I have no grasp of what money was worth in the 70s, so
I mean,
Maybe.
to be fair, it's still made a hell of a profit.
It did, more like 10 times its budget, isn't it? I don't know. I'm bad at maths.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just under 10 times its budget.
With $106.3 million made.
It Star Wars had
That's
exactly the same budget. How does Star Wars have the same budget as this?
Why are we literally comparing it to Star Wars because it came out 2 years before?
2 years. It's like two science fiction films that came out within 2 years of each other. though.
Wait, which one are you insulting? Alien or Star Wars here? Because I think they both look amazing.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars looks better though.
I think Alien's way better shot than Star Wars.
Yeah.
You're better shot in the dark.
Is that a threat?
I don't know.
So many items.
Chris is better shot in the dark. Are you saying that because he blends into it, or?
They'll never find my body.
There's so many ways you could take this, and most of them are racist. So let's just drop
They're
it.
all racist.
I mean, if people can't tell by my skin color by my profile picture, oh well. Yes, I am indeed an anime man.
I'm Eddie Murphy in The Dark Knight. That's who I am.
I'm whatever my thing is.
Joe's an artificial intelligence, and Ben is the Batman. So
In that he wears tights and dance around the city.
I'm also a Pokemon gym leader. There we go.
Marvelous. So Alien, yeah.
yeah, Alien. We're so on topic. We're known for it for our professionalism. What's our past with Alien? Well, I guess I'll start. I watched Alien for the first time when I was like, I don't know, like 15 or something, because my mum was like, "You've got to watch these films and Predator." I like this one a lot better than Predator, I'll give you that. So yeah, that's my past. My parents were like, "You've got to watch these classic films we loved," and I liked them. So that's how I got into it. Anyone else have any more
Wow. Your parents-
interesting history with Alien?
Nope.
I mean, mine's probably on a similar level, except I wasn't really told to watch them by anyone. Well, technically I wasn't. That's like obviously over the years I've heard many people talking about them as like sci-fi horror classics or just sci-fi classics anyway. And yeah, I basically I think it was at university when I first watched these films. I just sat down one weekend and was like, right, okay, I should watch these. So I watched Alien, Aliens, and Predator. Haven't got around to Predator 2 yet. We'll do one day. But yeah, no, I just decided one day to watch them. And yeah, I am quite a fan. I'm not going to say I'm a mega fan or anything, but I quite enjoyed the first two Alien films anyway. So.
I guess I'll lead with this question, actually. Are you guys Alien or Aliens people? Because I'm very firmly an Aliens person.
From memory, Alien, only because I like the more survival horror aspects. Not to diss on Aliens, I love Aliens still. Again, this is from memory. My view might change next week or whenever we do Aliens. But for now, Alien.
My love of Halo translated into a deep love of Space Marines. So the space Halo based like a lot of its early look on Aliens and whatnot as well. So it's very much in my wheelhouse. Joe, Ben, what's your past with the film?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say my aliens and alien thing, but
Go for
I
it.
don't really have.
Do both.
I don't have one. I'm not sure yet. So I'll have to see when I see aliens.
A journey of discovery. And if any of you turn out to be an Alien 3 person, I may have to disassociate with you forever. But
No.
I'm going to leave the call then.
look, a lot of what I'm going to say about Alien here is I'm going to say it's very slow and boring. Now times out by 50, and you've got Alien 3.
Oh. Well,
Can't wait.
I watched Alien maybe twice before this. Once when I was very young and didn't have a Scooby-Doo, and the second time was actually at uni. I think I did it with you, Chris. It sounded very weird, that, but there you are.
Well, we've all
and it
done
was. it's
Speak for
sad.
yourself.
You charlatan. Yeah, and it was rather tasty. But we watched it, I think, as a horror movie, and because it was made in 1974, but it's not scary at all. But yeah, that's that. And I don't know if I'm an alien or aliens. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think I'm an aliens, but to be honest, this was better than I thought it would be. Oh, I remember.
I watched this like I think for the first time like might have only been like a year ago or a bit more than that. I was just in my flat and I was just like I'm just gonna watch it, and I did. Had a good time. So there you go.
I mean, this is a good segue into our current thoughts on the film. Ben, what do you think of Alien after our most recent viewing?
I mean, it's great. It's still great. It's like an amazingly like the design of everything and how it feels and everything.
I
mean-
love a grimy 80s future. I mean, I guess this is the 70s future, but that like that the binary look to all the computers, all the blinking monitors, and all the grime and filth of your 80s future. I love the aesthetic, top to bottom.
This film's, I just don't know, it's like a warm blanket, this film. It's very...
You have a
like,
strange definition of a warm blanket.
it's just so simplistic, and like, you just know what's going on all the time, and it's just like, this is...
What?
My warm blanket is when a man gets brutally murdered by a space parasite. That's what I love.
It's just like, you sit down, and you're like, okay, this is a quality film, that is uncomplicated, and it's just nice to just sit and watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can get that.
It's atmospheric. It's nice and like it's very slow and like you like it. There's a lot of like
slow.
yeah. There's a lot of like cameras like looking around the ship and you're looking at all like things flashing and it's just very nice. It's a bit quaint, obviously, but yeah, good time.
Joe?
Interesting. Well, I also think things that Ben thinks, but not as much. I think. Yes, it is not. It's not a warm blanket of a movie. I don't know where.
I don't know where I'm going with
It's a
that.
warm,
Just
murderous blanket.
forget it.
Yes.
The blood is warm until it dries. That's a bit sticky. Itchy,
It's-
even.
Then it goes off.
My lord. Yeah, it's a great movie, but it's I don't think you can. It's a movie where you can just stick it on and enjoy it. I think you have to be in a very specific mood for this movie because it is slow and deliberate, which isn't a bad thing. It's just you have to be in the right mood for it. But it is a very good movie.
It's kind of that's kind of like my whole thoughts on the movie. I like Alien, and I still really like Alien. I don't think I was in the mood for it yesterday. So when they're like landing their spaceship or blowing or setting the self-destruct sequence, and they have to press like a sequence of 5 buttons every time we watch them, painstakingly press that sequence of 5 buttons, and then it does a thing, and we're like, okay, cool, and we press more buttons, and then we slowly watch it move a little bit, and then it's like, okay, right, and then they're like, oh yeah, we've got to press another button. We've got to go talk to the computer in the thing. Kind of like, let me type it out, real slow, and then it'll type out the answer. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's type out the next question. I'm like, please speed things up just a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
true. I think I was lucky that both times I watched it that I was actually in the mood for something like that. Just it was. I think it's both times I watched it. It was quite late at night. And I was just like quite tired. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit and be comfortable and watch it. So I guess that's where I got the warm blanket thing from. I don't know.
No, it's very deliberate and very atmospheric, and it takes a while to build that atmosphere. And if you're into it and you want to be into it, it's great. If not, I imagine it's quite a chore. But luckily,
Yeah.
I was into it, so I thought it was pretty good.
Dion?
I mean, yeah, I kind of just agree with most, if not everything that's been said. There's like 1 or 2 points of confusion, but well, actually no, I think there's only one main point of confusion with regards to I can never remember the actor's name, Bilbo. But apart from that,
Yeah. Halfway through this, I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's Bilbo. I completely forgot that it
Yeah.
was Bilbo.
Ian
oh, God,
Holmes.
it is.
Yeah, he's the
It is
android.
Ian Holmes. Yeah. Well,
You can-
shit.
You can see it is like facial structure. But other than that, it's like, fuck, that's Bilbo.
It didn't even click once.
He's missing the hair and the waistcoat. That's why.
And isn't, like 2-3 foot tall.
And he's
And is also maybe 30 years younger.
And he's not going. Rah!
yeah, exactly.
I mean, he is at one point, but anyway.
Yeah, that's really true.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I enjoyed this as much as I did on my first viewing. I agree with everything that's been said, and that it's kind of a film you have to be in the mood for. I feel like if you're gonna introduce someone to it, it's like you got to be like, it's this kind of film. It is rather slow. If you want like a nice atmospheric, slow, simple horror, well, pseudo horror, mostly sci-fi, dark sci-fi, we'll call it that. Then yeah, go ahead and stick this on. But I very much enjoyed it once again. And I'm curious to see if my ranking changes next week when we see Alien. Maybe over time I've decided to be more of an Aliens fan, but we'll see.
In general, I'm more of an action movie sort of person, and Aliens is an action movie. It's not really. It's an action movie with horror elements in it, which is much more my speed than this very slow movie. Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to say, or shall we transition to some key topics?
I'm good for now.
Get
No.
that key lime pie in there, so.
Oh baby. Okay, I'll start with my vaguely negative thoughts on the alien, I guess, because I guess this is my most spicy take. The alien in this film is just kind of just a little bit lame to me. I say he. I don't know if it's he. They move very slowly. It moves very slowly when it's on screen because it's a 70s movie on not that high a budget. They're limited in what they can do, and when it pops up, it generally moves very slowly and like deliberately, which is a bit weird for this like super fast, agile, like killing machine it's meant to be. It's just, and then the whole climax of the movie revolving around like she's in the ship, but it's just kind of napping in the corner, and like it just kind of like removes like the scariness of the alien to me in a lot of ways. Where I'm like, it's just so slow in moving.
Intriguing. I can see where you're coming from. I mean, it would have been great if it was more agile. I guess. But I think as far as the way it looks on point.
Oh, it looks
yeah.
incredible. It's just very slow and awkward looking when it moves.
Yeah, the design of it is so good.
It's incredible. I think the first introduction to it wasn't as good as it could have been.
When he's
You
looking.
mean the chest burster or
No,
the actual introduction
the
of it?
actual.
Okay,
yeah,
just
actual
just
daddy.
making sure. And also just
'Cause
to give them time to respond. What surprised you, Nina? Okay, carry on.
Yeah, it just kind of, it was weirdly, because the scene leading up to that was like super tense and it took a long time building up the tension, and then it kind of, the music stopped and it was there and it was like, okay, that looks awesome, but I think it was just not as, I think exciting is the wrong word, but it wasn't as,
Thrilling.
tense. Yeah, compared to later on when when it devours those two people, and then it's like super dramatic, and it's like, oh my god, it's the alien. I think it got it the wrong way around a bit.
You're gonna have
But
to
it looks
remind
awesome.
me when's the first time it turns up? Is that in the room of weird?
It's when he kills the
Jane?
person who's chasing after the cat.
Yeah. Oh, the God, what's that actor in? Alien.
Well, surprisingly.
One of the
It's not
engineers.
Yeah, it's like do you see its tail come down first, or is it like?
It just kind of flops down behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything leading up to that moment is incredible. It's just the actual reveal. It's like every time I'm like, what the fuck? This is a big. What? How did it grow so quickly? Doesn't make sense. But then I'm like, it's a little anticlimactic for the build up.
I love how big it is. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
more of a thing of how do you introduce this creature in the way you do and not make sense. It's kind of impossible. But that's besides the point.
You mentioned that fight, the one where it killed those two people at the same time. I enjoy that fight just because the black man tries to rugby tackle it.
Yeah, for some reason.
He's like, well, I guess I can't. But I'm like, if I was in that situation, I'm sorry, my crewmate friend, you're being burned alive with this alien because I am not rugby tackling this like 8 foot tall alien creature with a barbed tail. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
No.
Does one of them die with the tail up the butt?
It seems implied.
Okay. I just
Yeah, well,
because
I
I've got a note here.
Wait,
and
who
I-
dies like that?
Lambert.
Yeah, the
Is that a
lady.
name?
Oh,
think
the last one to go before Ripley gets it.
Yeah, I think. Well, the traditional sort of killer is like it goes like underneath
there.
and it comes through the back,
Yeah.
through the spine. I think is the
Traditional. The traditional way.
classic. We'll
I
keep
think
it to the
Joe,
classic.
I think Joe and I have another perspective with having
We
played
do.
Alien Isolation.
Yeah, literally that's what I was picturing. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, all the time.
Oh god, I haven't played that game in a long time. I should
Oh,
play it
so
again.
Brilliant,
It's a great
brilliant
game.
game.
I might re-add it to my completion series games just because I did really enjoy it. Although, god damn, is that alien scary?
Never played it, probably never will. Too much
I,
of a pussy for that shit.
I played the game before I even saw the film,
Same.
which
Really?
so it was so it was kind of like it's an interesting kind of like I watched the film and I was like, oh, I recognize this like aesthetic from like the game, which is obviously like the wrong way around, kind of, but it was
Yeah, the game nailed the aesthetic.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, this is like exactly the same. Like the white cupboards and stuff like that. Great.
The aesthetic's so cool. Like it is ridiculous aesthetic, but it's so iconic and awesome.
Yeah, it's so 70s/80s sci-fi where the future was so bulky and industrial. I really like that feel.
Yeah.
I love the grimy 80s futures. Like the computers are all like 80s computers. It's fascinating to me see what they thought the future would be in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's ludicrous thinking about it now, but it's just such a strikingly awesome
Yeah,
aesthetic.
it's
dope.
it's such a cool stylized aesthetic that's like, even though we know what the future more looks like now, obviously with how technology is in the 2020s, it's still very much just like, yeah, but that looks cool. Like obviously
Yeah.
that's a very subjective thing and it'll vary on each individual, but for the most part it's like we kept with the style for a reason. It's appealing.
Well, a lot of the time watching this, I was thinking I'd have like flash to Prometheus in my head, and
Where it's
like,
actual sci-fi.
yeah. I was like,
Prequel problems.
yeah. I was like, this is so much cooler.
Well,
Like, in
we'll
every
get there.
way.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
watch Alien Covenant or something. Oh.
Yep.
There's so
It's
many
all
bad
coming.
films.
It's
Haven't
coming.
seen them.
You lucky
Can't-
sod. Well,
can't
lucky
wait.
for now.
Oh no, I have seen Prometheus actually. I can't even remember it.
There's only one scare in any Alien film that actually stuck with me for like a long time, and weirdly enough, it's at the end of Alien Covenant. But we'll get there. There's one bit at the end of that film like that's really creepy to me. But we'll get there one day.
Before we move on, because I asked earlier, Ina says the alien, how it acted, and hadn't seen an alien like it before. So it was great for me. And that's in terms of when we were discussing just the design of the alien when it
Yeah.
first appeared. Which,
I
to
mean,
be
it's
fair,
just-
is the same reaction I imagine a lot of people had, because I can't remember who designed the alien, but as I recall, they are well known for coming up with like cool, awesome,
Is
gruesome
it HR?
designs.
You're talking about HR Geiger.
Yeah, it was him. He did it.
Yeah, he did it.
He did. I was going to
Yeah.
say yes. So that name. Then I was like, I'm not going to try and say that name. I'll just say he did it. he was the one.
Was it him? I thought it was him, like inspired by him, but not.
I don't know. I don't
actually.
think it was actually him. I think it was like his. Yeah, his like. I don't know. It's like crazy. Like, what's the style like?
No,
Biomechanical.
no, you are correct. It was H.R. Geiger. Never mind. I just typed in who designed his animal.
Yeah. So.
Well, really,
Yeah,
for me,
Biomechanical.
really for me, when it comes to alien movement, it was cool the first time I saw it, but I really have been spoiled by. I don't really want to talk too much about the future films because we're on Alien right now, but how it moves in Aliens and future like installments, they're so fast.
Oh yeah, it
They're
gets
so
much
fast
better.
and fluid. I mean, that's just what the Alien is in my mind. And when you go back to Alien, which is great, I'm not like. It's a weird because it's old. It was the first one. It was the progenitor. It's different than how the Alien is now in like pop culture and in my mind. So it's just kind of like the juxtaposition between those two things makes me
I can see
prefer
why.
the later ones.
I can see why you'd prefer the later ones, to be fair. But I feel like this one's like a good base, because this is like, obviously there's no real explanation for why this one's like so slow or anything like that. Or I guess it's sturdy as well. But well, actually no, it's not technically sturdier, because they didn't have guns on their ship. But I don't know. I feel like this is a good base for setting up the future films. Where it's like, this is what one alien could do on its own, moving slowly. And then when you see them moving fast and en masse in the other ones, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, if this was a current movie at the time, if you were around for it, it would have blown your socks off sideways. Like, as Nina was saying, that was great, and I imagine the people back then, watching it for the first time, must have shit themselves,
Yeah.
as well as
yes.
being super impressed the whole time.
Again, the
I
plot of
was
this
super
Scream
impressed.
is aptly named, considering this is the film that's coined that.
They-
Space, no one could hear you scream.
It's like we can't really watch the film from like that perspective, like because even as a child, I saw like the chest burster scene, so I knew what that was. But like imagine like seeing that in
Yeah,
a cinema in like
that-
1977 or 75 or whatever, and being like, "What the fuck?"
I think
was
we've
actually-
given like 5 different dates now for this film.
Yeah, I know.
Every time, I think Joe says 74. We've said 76. We've said
Right.
70. It's
The
the
70s.
It's the 25th of May 75 actually. Just so we
Shit.
remember that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
1877.
You're spot on there, Ben, though, with having grown up in a post-alien world, though, because Nina said she hadn't seen the film before. We watched it together, so I was like, oh, I'm curious to see her reaction to that scene. But when it happened, she was like, oh yeah, I've seen like a clip of this scene before on like stuff they didn't tell the actors when they were filming. I was just like, fuck.
Yeah,
Because I was looking
like,
forward
never-
to seeing the perspective of someone who had no idea what it was.
because like everyone knows what the alien from Alien looks like.
Mm.
Well, most people, I suppose. But it's just like when I saw it in this film for the first time, I was like, yep, that is the alien. But I can't ever have that like,
Yeah, that's shock.
yeah,
Especially
That's
when it
shock of
comes that whole scene as well. It's nuts. It's so cool and brilliantly done. I mean, now that we've seen it in 2020 and all that stuff, 2021, everything looks great in this movie. Everything except for the baby.
I was waiting for my moment to get in there, because when it's like, oh, it's this really dramatic scene, and it bursts out the chest. It's like a little alien toy on a stick, and it looks around
Yeah.
like a little pantomime like puppet, and then goes,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
It's when it scurries off.
Yeah, it's just sliding along.
Yeah, I
bobbing from
can't
side to
help
side.
Ball out
It does
laughing
look-
every time.
it
Yeah,
looks
this-
so
this-
comical.
There's two scenes that get me like that. Well, actually, kind of three, but the two scenes are that one. And Chris talked about it earlier, where the captain's in the vents hunting down the alien with the flamethrower, and when the alien appears there, the first time I saw the film, I just laughed because the alien there kind of just throws his hands out at him and it's like, "Huck me!"
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here.
It always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it was like gonna do there. Like it holds its arms out and then it's just like,
Cuts to
Grabs
black.
him, brings him home. For a day.
I just want to touch on the captain's plan in that section. Your plan is to go in alone into the vents with a hostile alien creature, where you see him in the vents. It's claustrophobic. He can't turn around for shit or do anything. Terrible plan. Awful plan.
Twice dead.
My plan would have been to lock the vents and go back to sleep. Can't get me in a pod, bitch.
I think it probably could.
It didn't get Jonesy in its little cradle. It wouldn't be able to get into those pods.
I don't think it cared about
Jonesy.
Jonesy.
Ouch, ouch.
Joan.
It's
No,
a
I was
shame
thinking about that Indiana Jones film. Fuck.
What Indiana Jones film, Ben?
I don't know. It's like a dark memory shadow.
Shadow of a Lost Time. The face was looking. I was super impressed. In fact, I was super impressed with the way everything looked in this movie, except for the baby alien, which I knew was
the
Oh, the face hugger looked so good
It's-
and so disgusting.
fake
Yeah.
face was horrible. It's horrible. Like I know they actually used. I think when they were like dissecting it, it's actual like meat or whatever,
was it.
and it's just like I
Hmm.
think so, and it's
I
just
could
like,
believe
it's just
that.
like, oh.
Yeah,
They get like a
yeah.
bit of a sheep or something, and it's just like.
I just hate how this is the arachnophobia kicking in, but I hate how it's like spider-like, like when it's dead and the legs all curled up, and I'm like, ugh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
screw
all-
that thing.
It looks. Yeah, I was super impressed. It looks so cool, and a lot of this movie is actually quite timeless because of just how it's done, and the models and stuff look
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, if it was had more, modern video and audio and stuff, and some of the props like the baby alien,
Hmm.
this could be like easily a more modern movie looking because it just looks.
In the looks, a lot of it is very 70s/80s though. Like when they're all like sat around smoking and like everything's all grimy and they're all talking about pay cuts. I'm like, I don't know, something about this feels very 70s or 80s to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I really like the way this film is like they're space truckers, and it's like kind of the opposite of Star Trek, where everyone's like really professional and dressed up neatly. These guys are just kind of slobby.
Yeah.
I think it
People
work-
on job.
right.
people on a job. I think it works really well.
Yeah, should we
Um,
talk about the crew actually? Because they're kind of the backbone of the movie.
Yeah, we can do. Give me just 1 second now to address the chat once again. Hello, Doc. Welcome to the stream. And I know nothing about the new Indiana Jones game, though.
The one that
Wait, what?
Bethesda are making it. They-
Oh god.
Machine Games specifically, the people who make Wolfenstein.
Yes, and Lucasfilm Games has now been created, aka they've revived LucasArts, just give it a different name.
Technically, LucasArts was called Lucasfilm Games before it was named LucasArts.
Okay. that-
way back in the day, like late 80s, it was called Lucasfilm Games. No, I say late 80s, I think it might be in the 90s. Anyway, at any rate, it used to be called Lucasfilm Games before it was at LucasArts.
Anyway, it won't be better than Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings on the Wii. All about that.
What?
I love that game.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It was a thing, and it was probably bad, but I liked it.
Probably. But
Like
yes,
every time, like you used the Wii remote, and when he flicked it, he did his whip, and it was like, whoosh. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But yes, back to you guys are about to start talking about
The crew.
Yes. The crew
part of the
is.
ship, part of the crew.
Ah.
Sorry.
I loved the crew in this one. I was a big fan of the banter they had, and the fact that they kind of didn't really get along and they butted heads a lot. I really appreciated, and there was no obvious, like a lot of Bond movies is an obvious douche and a bad guy, and there's just like bait.
I don't know, the way they shot Ian Holmes, the cyborg. Like, every time something that was, like, mildly questionable happened, they'd cut to his face and be like, oh, look, he has a reaction. be wary of that guy. Nothing he did was overtly evil or anything, but, like, every time something happened, I'd be like, they'd cut to him, I'm like, you're signaling a bit too hard, I feel.
Yeah, but what I mean is no one was like an arsehole.
Yes.
Douchey, and where you were like, ugh, he's the knobhead.
There wasn't like the Chad outright douche who was just like, yeah, he's got to be the one to die.
Yeah, you could believe they were all people on a crew stuck in space.
Yeah.
It's like the two engineers. There's the quiet one who's good at his job, and there's the louder one who's just like constantly complaining and trying to get a bigger pay rise. And then you've got Ripley, who's kind of like the rules lawyer, and then you've got I can't remember Bilbo's name in this film, but
Ash. Ash.
Ash. Thank you.
Ash.
Yeah. Who's I don't know. I thought it was shot reasonably well. I didn't assume anything of Ash the first time round. At least, obviously, second time round I knew what was going on. But I thought he was just like had genuine concern and slash scientific curiosity when it came to the alien and stuff. So like when he let it on board and stuff, I was just like, yeah, okay. Because later on, it just seemed to play more into that.
I just thought it was like, you just kind of think, I don't know, he's like he's just a little bit cold and a bit like about the science. And I'm like, that's fine.
I don't feel like the movie, like, every time, like, something like, every time there was, like, the alien did something, they'd cut to him looking a bit sinister. And then the music would be like, ooh. I'm like, okay.
Ian Holmes.
That's just his face, he's just a bit sinister. But,
honestly, the person I have the
Fresh.
least, like, I guess, any sort of feelings towards would be the other lass on the crew, who's just, I don't know, she just seemed kind of useless and out of place.
she was neither here nor there for me, apart from the ventilation scene where she just started screaming down the mic, and I was like, please stop.
He's going to answer you. Oh God! Get yourself together, woman.
Yeah, she was probably the least impactful of the crew, really, wasn't she?
Yeah. Also, the captain. I don't have too many thoughts on him. I didn't dislike him, but I didn't really. He was just, he was there.
He was fine. He was done well, but obviously he dies early on, so it's kind of hard to. And he's the idiot who kind of is dicking around with eggs. If that was me, I'd be like, no. I was like, that wasn't the captain, was it?
No,
No.
that was John Hurt.
Yeah, John Hurt gets into a pit full of obviously alien eggs. He's like, well, there's something obviously organic about them. No, don't worry, I just slipped. Let me put my face right up to one of them. Ooh, it's moving. Ooh, let me poke it. I'm like, okay. You're curious. I get that.
There's later movies, but yeah, I was like, if I saw any of that shit, I'd be out. I'd be like, you know what?
See,
Everyone's dead. Let's go out.
In this film, I can believe it more though, in that he's just a little bit curious, and like we've mentioned before, these guys are just space truckers. They're not necessarily here to do this job. It's just like part of their company contract, where they'd be like, "Hey, go investigate this thing," and he's like, "Oh, okay. We've never found alien life. This is interesting to look at." Plus, you don't expect something to just drip out of an egg. Whereas with later films like Prometheus, where it's just like, hey, these are professionally trained scientists, colonists, etc., etc. They should know not to do this shit. It's like, please stop it.
I suppose because he had a helmet on, he probably thought he was.
Exactly.
I don't know. He's still an idiot.
I don't know, he seems a little bit too eager to press his face up towards the hostile alien eggs.
I'm putting this more on the general stupidity of the later films where people shouldn't know how to do this. I feel like it's excusable in this instance because of again their job roles and their situation.
I mean, just in general, was it ever explained why he was so eager for to go out there? Like, as soon as they landed, he was like, "I'm volunteering to go out there," and then they got in there, he was like, "I'm going down this hole." And when he was down the hole, he was like, "I'm investigating these eggs." I'm like, why are you so eager?
I think he was just eager to explore because again, in this universe, there's no signs of aliens, so to get a random distress call, it's like, ooh, it's not one of ours. Interesting.
It seemed like it was a thing because even the Ash was like, "Naturally, you'll be going." At first, I thought he was the android because that would have made sense if the android was like, "I'm going," because his orders were obviously to get the cargo back, so that would have made more sense. But yeah, it was weird how he was so just up for it.
I guess
up for a good time.
he's just kind of like, I don't know, the soldier or something. I don't know. He's like, I'll do the job. I will do it. That is me.
I'll get it done.
I'll get it done. Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought he was just very curious because, to be fair, if I was in his situation, I'd probably be like, "Wait, aliens? Okay, I kind of want to know."
This is where we differ. I'll be like, I'll
Yeah,
step on the ship.
I'd be on the ship. I'd be like, "Guys, I'm monitoring the comms. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah."
I'll watch the camera feed and see how you get on.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
I think I'd want to go.
No.
Am I just an idiot?
I'd want to see. I wouldn't
I'd-
want to necessarily be the first one in, but I definitely want to be on the expedition.
Yeah, I definitely. If I landed and I saw like an alien ship, I was like, yes, please.
Maybe I've watched too many sci-fi films, but being stranded on an alien planet with alien spaceships crashed out there that we've never seen before, I would be very. All of my like spider senses would be tingling at that point. I'd be like, I am not leaving my cabin. I'm just staying inside of these 4 safe walls where there's nothing going to murder me with its acid blood.
You have spider sense in this universe.
Yes, I do. I'm a Spider-Man in this one.
Oh, that's cool.
I'd want to explore and investigate, but I'll be in the second expedition or the third. You know, not the first.
Hmm.
They could die horribly.
To bring up some points from chat. Nina says the dynamic between the 2 engineers confused me. I was like, why are they interacting this way? I don't know. I thought the engineers were just. They knew each other well, from what I know. It's just, again, there's the quiet guy who was just doing his job, and the other one who's just kind of more. I don't know what the word is. Rambunctious? I don't know.
Loud.
He was just very loud and trying to get more money and.
Just
Yeah.
laddie, mate.
I like those two a lot. I,
Yeah,
think they
I,
work
I feel like
really
their dynamic was just a result of them knowing each other a long time.
I like the scene where Ripley goes down to like have a go at them or whatever, and there's like that steam going, and then he just turns it off when she leaves, and they both give like a look at each other, like you could have done that.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. Just the banter, man. The crew banter is good.
And then they die,
Dun, dun, dun.
and it's great.
Another thing I like about the crew is that it's not instantly obvious that who's the main character. In fact, Ripley's fairly low down on the totem pole and doesn't get that much screen time until like the end. And I'm like, as dynamics go, I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, you could have transitioned almost any one of them into the main character, but Ripley was the one who ended up
Not
there.
knowing who's going to be the survivors from the off, because with a lot of horror films, again, like we said, there's like the obvious Chad who's going to die, and they'll focus too much on one character, whereas in this one's kind of just like the first time you're seeing it. I mean, obviously, again, living in a post-Alien world, you kind of know Ripley's sort of one of the faces of the franchise, but seeing it for the first time, I imagine it would be like, fuck's gonna get out of this?
Yeah, it could have easily been like the captain, or any of them. Yeah.
This is why I like it so much. There's no one focal point really. In other movies and even the later movies, it's a lot more obvious who's the ones who are just going to get killed off, and then who's the actual mainstay of the story. And I'm a big fan of the fact that there isn't one here. I mean, there's Ripley, but it's not, as you say, too focused.
It feels like the rest of the franchise was a natural result of what happened in this one, whereas in modern sci-fi, it's very, because again, Ripley being one of the faces of the franchise, it's like naturally they were going to make the next films starring her. But in the first one, it felt like it was just happened to be that way, and it could have easily been any of the others. Like the film, they didn't go into the film being like, right, we want a nice, awesome, like female hero for future films.
That was I thought it was very well done and quite refreshing, considering all the movies that come out now really aren't too much like that.
I really want someone to make an 80s future film. That's all I want. I want someone to take this aesthetic and make a movie with modern technology. I mean, I guess Rogue One was kind of that, in that it took the original Star Wars trilogy like aesthetic of like an 80s grimy sort of sci-fi and kind of made it. But I want original 80s sci-fi in the 2020s, damn it.
I can get behind that. I'd have to go see it.
Yeah, so something very gritty about them as well. Like there's a lot of it's very dark and it's gritty and it's all of this. I think it'd be hard to capture now, to be honest. But it'd be great if someone could do it.
Examples. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. You go.
I was just going to say the only two examples I could think of that people might tell us to watch would be, but I don't know how well they got the aesthetic across, would be Ghost in the Shell.
Oh,
But I don't know how well they adapted that.
no,
The live action film.
I didn't like it.
And what was the other one? The one that Harrison Ford originally started and then they made one recently.
Oh, Blade Runner 2049. That's great.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's a great film.
Because that's a similar aesthetic, isn't it?
It is. The original Blade Runner was all grimy 80s future, and they kind of just like ran with that again. Except it was more modern, because I guess it was also set 25 years later from the first one. But still, that's cool. Yes, that's a great film.
Oh, I should probably check that one out then. But yes, I'd also heard from the general public and that Ghost in the Shell had not been adapted well, at the very least. Don't know about the film as a standalone.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how well it was adapted. I don't know anything about Ghost in the Shell, but I watched it and then I forgot about it 2 minutes later. So it was just like, it's not very good. I don't think.
yeah, all right, fair enough. I guess I kind of want to go over the thing that confused me about Ash, which is unless I missed something obvious here. How come Ash just like I get why he turned, that's fine, but why did he kind of just like randomly start malfunctioning? Like why did he just suddenly go spastic during that confrontation? Because he didn't suffer any serious blows or anything. He just kind of randomly happened.
Yeah,
Why was he in the computer? He
What
just
was that,
turned
sorry?
up in the computer. He was sat in like Ripley was in like Mother or whatever.
Oh
And
yeah,
then-
and he just,
Oh,
he
was
just
she now?
ninja'd his way into the room.
He's just there. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, considering how noisy that door is as well. It's like, how the fuck did you get in here without anyone noticing?
I feel like
Door opens, like,
I feel like he didn't go full full robot until he was whacked on the head with the fire extinguisher, and at that point he started flopping around like a boned fish. But
Limp as a bone.
I-
Hey.
to be fair, I might have just missed that. It just confused the hell out of me when, because obviously he's. Oh, also the other thing that confused me the hell about that is I'm assuming he's trying to kill Ripley. Why is he trying to shove a newspaper down her throat?
yeah, I was about to say that he picked the most awkward way of suffocating her. It's like you got your hand, or I can roll up this newspaper and put it in your mouth.
He's clearly like super strong, I think. So why
And yet
isn't
he
he just
decides to use the magazine.
Snap the neck, yeah.
wind chop a wind chop? Karate chop a windpipe. I was going to say.
Wind chopper karate pipe. Let's go.
Oh yes.
Like, is the implication he was already malfunctioning at that point because he didn't like choose the most efficient route, or I don't know. It was just really weird, that whole scene.
To be perfectly honest, I like the android reveal just because I like androids in these movies, but it's all super weird. Like, it's all very strange and kind of comes out of nowhere. Even like the black dude comes in, he's like, Ash is a robot? What's happening? Why is this happening now?
Also, he's full of milk. It's weird.
He's full of. I reckon
That's a
full
consistent film thing in these films for some reason.
The androids are
Just
powered by
filled
milk.
with white goo.
I like the. It's like the practical effect that they do, where it looks like his head's on the floor,
Mm.
and like they kind of. It's really cool. It looks really good. But then there's like they cut away and then come back to it, and it's like clearly not
Clearly
his
a
head,
model.
and then Ripley like knocks it a bit.
Yes.
I won't
looks
lie
like
to you
fake
about your
out.
chances, but you have my sympathies.
It's the
Oh, sorry,
cheapest
my
one.
condolences.
It's, it's legendary. I like the fact that Ripley got her ass handed to her because it made sense that she wouldn't be able to fight
Yeah,
this
he's,
android.
he's a motherfucking android.
The bit of that
Yeah.
fight that makes me cringe the most is when he tries to grab her head and like misses, but grabs the hair, he's got like a handful of hair, and I'm like, oh, oh dear.
Big goof.
That must have
big goof.
hurt.
Yeah. Boo, alas.
But, anyway, that was my main confusion with the film. I don't think I have anything else I'm really confused about. So yeah, anything else people?
I mean, my main confusion with like, this is not really a confusion with Alien itself, because in Alien's nice and self-contained. You get the company somehow knows about these aliens. It's really my problem with Prometheus. I get, how does the company know there's aliens? Well, why? You know what? This is a universe problem. We'll get to it later. But the whole mission of, like, they know the aliens are there and they want to bring it back.
Boys, maybe.
Are the boys back in town? Come on, baby. There we go. It's back.
Go back.
We're back.
Woo! Thank you, Sky.
Right! Oh, God.
Jesus.
Gee, what the hell was
That's
that?
something to come back to. Sorry, chat.
Apologies. Oof, I was just holding it in. Just for you guys.
Just for you.
Sounded like
yeah.
Ash when he's flailing around.
He did. Nina says, "Bless you, Joe."
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, but anyways, where were we?
I guess it was me complaining about the universe of Alien, because after Alien and Aliens, things get real rocky on the quality of these films, and they mess with their continuity a lot.
Alien 3, Alien
Yes.
Resurrection, and then all the.
Yes, but as far as this movie goes, in standalone, it's all fine and it makes sense to me, and is actually quite reasonable. But yes, later things get all kinds of fucked.
Yeah.
One thing. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, as a person who doesn't really know much about any of these, like, the company is just like, oh, we want you to go look at these aliens. I'm like, okay, the company knows. Whoever this company is, they know about aliens, and they're sending these people to die. That's fine.
Yeah, as a
Fine.
standalone film, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Another thing I'll say about the company wanting the aliens. Ripley says, "Oh, the weapons division must want it," or something along those lines. It kind of reminds me, in a way, of Jurassic World, where everyone really wants to buy these dinosaurs for the military, and I'm like, why a gun can take any of them down?
Vincent D'Onofrio wants to put, like, machine guns on velociraptors or something. That's the plot of that film, and it's really stupid.
In Jurassic World 2, they're all like bidding at like an auction, like, oh, $250 million for the dinosaur. I'm like, you can take that money, instead spend it on a missile or a lot of AK-47s. It will get the job done better than this Velociraptor that you're selling. Kind of have that feeling. I kind of have that feeling about the Xenomorph. It's a lot more deadly than a Velociraptor on account of its, like, acid blood and whatnot. It still can get shot and killed pretty easily.
Yep. But
I
if you
can
stow them on
imagine,
ships-
like, if the weapons division wanted it, it would be like a bit fucking weird. But if the weapon division included something like bioengineering or something, then I could understand, because you definitely want to analyze the alien to just see how it works, I suppose. But trying to use it as an actual weapon is just like, nah.
I'm just not sure what part of it they'd want to weaponize. I mean, I guess you could. No, I mean, I guess the acid's good. Its armor doesn't seem particularly strong. It's fast. It can do that.
They already have acid, so it would be a bit redundant to extract this blood.
Callum says lies. Nothing's better than a Velociraptor. End of.
Just seems like a very good way for the military to waste their money. Is all I'm just going to say about the Velociraptor.
I think
Clearly
he's
has
talking about the
been
Xenomorph being better, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure the Xenomorph would beat a Velociraptor, Callum.
Clearly hasn't seen a velociraptor with a rocket launcher strapped to its head.
My God.
None of us have been blessed for that.
I really like the acid blood. I think it's just really cool that that's just it's like a really minor thing in the film. But
It's not even that though. I love how much they shit themselves over it. It's like, oh shit, it's going right through the hole because they're like,
Yeah.
we're on a spaceship.
I really like it's like a proper scene of like, oh god, this is a fucking big problem. Like, stop it, staunch it. As a man who spilt acid in a lab, I can't really relate because no acid I've ever used is as strong as that. But,
It's not going to go to the center of the earth.
but
It's
I've
just the
definitely
scariest in the movie for you, Ben.
I've stained things quite badly with acid, so I understood their pain. I knew how they felt in that moment, exactly how they felt.
So such a relatable movie.
Yeah, that's why I love this film.
Yeah.
Right, is there anything else we wish to discuss about this film in general? I see the only point that's not been addressed was, well, someone wrote the cat, but I don't know what you were going to talk about.
Oh, it's just like I don't know, because I was watching this film this time and I was like, I had this little thought. I was like, is the cat on its side? Because it leads the guy to his death, and
it gets left behind. The alien looks at it in its little manger or whatever the cat's in. What is that called? What cat's carried in?
Cat carrier.
A cat carrier.
Pet carriers.
Pet carriers. I like manger.
Right.
The alien looks at it, it's like, it's either like, I'm going to save you as a snack for later. It's like, you, my good minion, you've distracted Ripley long enough for me to kill her friends. Good.
Well, there's this shot even when the guy gets killed by the alien, and it like cuts to the cat, and the cat's just kind of looking, just like yes.
Yes.
Good.
Oh,
I don't think it's intentional, but it just to me the second time it came across, I was just like, the cat's
Look,
on its side.
I know cats are arseholes, but I don't think it's that much of an arsehole.
What I think it does capture is the cat's indifference to your existence.
Yes.
The cat will not care if you're alive or dead, so it's watching its master and the person who's fed it for years get eaten. It's like, so what, bitch? I'm still eating tonight. So
Just eat your remains.
I'll get your leftovers, and that's pretty good for me, actually.
This tastes pretty nice.
And I love cats, but I'm no fool. I know they want to kill me, or at least they're indifferent to my death.
And it fucks with them later on. It's like the motion tracker starts going off, and it's like turns out it was just the cat, and it's just like, I've tricked you, bitch. Now die.
Skulk around causing carnage.
I do love that scene and the reaction like Ripley and the I don't know his name, so I'm just gonna call him the black guy. The black guy have, and the other guy is just like, what? It's just a cat. We didn't have to catch it. It's like, no. Now we're gonna pick it up on the motion scanner again. You fucking idiot. Go get him.
Also in a nice horror movie moment, usually like, why are you guys splitting up? Or at least they thought it was small at that point.
Yeah, exactly. They hadn't seen the full xenomorph. They just thought, oh, it's just like this weird, tiny little creature. About the size of a cat.
Grew up real fucking fast.
With no sustenance.
Nope. Just sprouted up like out of the ground like a dwarf.
Again,
But-
I'm okay with this because, again, it's the first film, so it's just kind of establishing what the alien does. So in this case, it's like, oh, okay, so they just grow pretty fast for some fucking reason. If it had grown slowly in this film, and then in the next film, it just grew like that, then I'd be like, okay, that's weird.
I thought it was daft, but obviously there's no other way to tell this story without, I mean, unless it was the enemy in this movie was a baby alien, which would have turned it into a comedy, which, you know, I'm all for it.
As long as it's that little baby alien on a stick. That's what I want.
It would be an even one more sided film if they went along the route of it actually growing up, because they would have stayed in cryosleep, or rather, they would have gone back into cryosleep, just sailed their way back to Earth, and on that journey, eventually the alien would have got big enough to eat them in their sleep.
Nom nom. Yeah.
They sprouted out of the ground like daisies, Callum says.
The big days.
I guess the only thing I've got left to say about the main plot of Alien is that the captain really should have been better at his job, in my opinion, in that the black guy, I really wish I knew his name because this is starting to sound really bad.
Jake.
I'm trying to find his name now. I can't.
It's actually Jake.
find it.
It's Jacob.
Oh.
Well, Jacob, then. That sounds weird, even weirder to me for some reason, but anyway. He's like, why don't we just freeze him? He's got a disease or whatever. And he's like, no, I want it off his face. Like the captain makes all the wrong decisions to get his crew infected with alien parasites, just the whole way down.
It's not.
The whole
It's
crew
not
makes
Jacob.
wrong decisions. I like the fact that... Sorry, go on. What is it?
Need to press the point. His name is Parker. It's not Jacob.
It's Jacob.
Nobody. I don't know where you got that from. There's nobody in this film called Jacob.
Are you sure it's not Jacob Parker?
It's just. It could have been. It just says Parker. It's so annoying.
It is.
This is really not looking good for us.
Look, he's the black guy. That's fine.
You can say that.
Everyone can say that. It's not just our turn.
I think it was Dennis Parker. No, I don't know where I'm getting Jacob from.
It is no, yeah, it's Dennis Parker is his name.
So yeah, Jacob.
Yeah, it's Jacob.
We've rechristened him. He's Jacob now. That's his new name. I can't remember what we were saying about Jacob. I was just saying the captain should have insisted on better protocols.
Oh,
Later-
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. To be fair, no, they had protocols in place. The whole crew just decided not to listen because Ripley was like, "No, he's like, not coming on ship. Quarantine." Fuck
I
you,
was like,
quarantine.
I want that cargo. And then
To be fair, they were having the argument and discussion. You're like, "Let us on." Ripley was like, "No." And then yeah, Ash is just like, "Yeah, no."
come on, my pretties.
I mean, that's really the only thing I've got left to say about the plot. Anyone else got anything else?
I got nothing.
The ship explodes with the force of 3 suns. Quite a big
Despite the mighty
explosion.
explosion, but then again, that ship is fucking huge from the looks of it.
I don't understand that ship. It's really cool, but I do not understand its
It's
design.
basically like
It's
a giant mining platform, and then
Yeah.
the actual ship that detaches from it is like the tugboat.
Yeah. It's like, okay, fair enough. It's just like these 3 towers just kind of floating along. You're like, what is
I assume those are like
what is
refineries.
this? Yeah, fair enough. That explains why it would blow up so much if it's full of. What's it full of?
I don't know. I assume just like
Ore.
raw materials and stuff because I think it was a mining cargo vessel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said it had like 20 million tons of a something. They said at the beginning. I can't remember what it was now. But there's one segment I've not done. First of all, Ben, did your mother watch this with you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, right, cool. We can continue this tradition.
I'm curious.
What did your mother think of Alien, Ben?
She likes it very much. She likes it very much. She laughed at it a lot. Every time the alien turned up, she laughed because it did look really dumb. Like especially what we were talking about earlier. She had a good time.
Do you think she'd rank it higher or lower than Bullet?
I can't believe I'd forgotten about this. How long have you still got?
Chris is very good at remembering these weird details.
That joke,
Like,
everything.
Do you think it would be
Everything.
below Black Panther or above Black Panther? Like, Bullet was below Black Panther, I remember that.
I think I don't know. God, fucking damn it. More than Black Panther. Higher than Black Panther for sure. I think.
I think we've got a number 1 ranker on Ben's mum's list of movies.
Can't believe
In number 1, we've got Alien. In number 2, we've got Black Panther. And in number 3, we've got Bullet. And I'm thinking that's a
Great.
distant 3.
Three films that have absolutely nothing to do with it. Wonderful.
I'm sure she watched one of the other ones as well. I just can't remember where that one ranked in the list. So,
There was Ratatouille at one point, or maybe I just watched that by myself.
what did your mum think of Ratatouille?
Your mum, she probably loved Ratatouille.
Higher than Alien?
Probably.
Okay, we've got a new number 1. Number 1, we've got Ratatouille. Number 2, we've got Alien. Number 3, we've got Black Panther. Number 4, we've got Bullet. Distant 4, I imagine.
This segment's
That's
getting out of
right.
control.
It's good. It's getting out of control and is now ending.
Do its hair and costuming with Ben.
What do you think of 70s hair, Ben?
I mean, to be honest, I think Ripley's got banging hair. It's great. It's just great. But that's the only hair I can really think about in this. Nobody else has any. Oh, Dallas actually. He's got like a 70s mullet, hasn't he?
The captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the captain. Captain Dallas. Yeah. Yeah.
I really liked their space nappies that they wear when they go to bed. It's my favourite costume. If you're a dude, if you're a lady, you wear skin tight underwear.
Yeah.
Which
Your
Which
favorite
barely
costume,
covers
yeah,
anything.
Pretty
You
much
know
does.
it. That's your favorite costume. We know why.
I mean, the nappies are pretty great, but
It's so
it's
unnecessary.
ridiculous. God damn it, Bruno.
That's his dog, not his. He's not talking to his penis.
Well, he is a cock. No. Yes.
I suppose the actual alien costume itself is something, isn't it? That's like a design.
And
Marvel.
it does change quite a bit over the films. So I mean, I guess we can start ranking how the aliens look compared to each other because we've got more designs of aliens coming up in the future. So
You don't really see the alien that much in this. You never get like a full.
You do get one full shot at least, which is when she ejects out into space, which is where I feel like
Oh,
the age of
actually,
this film shows, because this alien, because in Aliens and onwards, they're much more beast-like, whereas in this one, it's definitely more like humanoid. It almost looks like a man in a suit when you see the full thing. It's like, ooh.
that's actually something they kind of address. Because aliens can like infect multiple different types of life forms. So in Alien 3, the alien that they're fighting that comes out of a cow. So it's a bit of a different shape than the alien that you get in the other ones. So if they gestate in a human, they get more humanish traits.
But still, in Aliens, they're still much more beast-like than that one.
I think
Not
they're still pretty human shaped.
I don't know.
It
feel
does look
we
like
see
I mean, it does. When it flies out the ship, it does look like a man in a suit. So I understand.
I
Wait.
guess it's more the movement, because again, we're addressing how, obviously, in this one, it doesn't really move that much, whereas in the Aliens, they definitely move much more beast-like. But the overall design might still be, obviously, the same/similar.
I mean,
But anyway,
even when it comes out the cow in Alien 3, it still looks pretty much like an alien, but it moves more like a cat. It's got like an arch to it.
I didn't know it was a cow. I'm now even more intrigued.
Yeah, Alien 3. So that happened.
It's a thing.
But yes, fuck it, we're having a small segment from now on in Alien films. We're going to rank aliens against each other. How like next movie we'll have an alien queen to put on the list. So by de facto, Alien from Alien is number one. In the future, we'll have other things to rank against it. Someone remember that, please, because I will forget that's something I'm going to do in the future. I should write it down.
You're gonna forget that, but you're gonna remember the fact that I watched Bullet with my mum.
I'll remember that to my deathbed. I'll be dying, and I'll be like, whoever's around me, come closer. Find Ben and tell him about Bullet, please.
One more time.
One more
Like,
time.
in his eyes.
Ben, we got Chris's final words for you. What? He's like, what are they? How does your mother rate this Bullet? Talking
Shadow.
about a film far in the future.
Avengers 17. Is it better than Bullet? Ugh.
Kill you.
Okay. I deserve it, probably.
Well, there's no ranking this week, so
Yeah.
I suppose that's it.
I was going to say, in the ranking section, which I guess we're in, it's, I guess we're all unanimous, it's number one, since there's nothing else to rank it against.
No.
In terms of the... Well, actually, no, we've only done 2 franchises of this so far, so no, that's not really a valid question yet. I was going to... I guess we can... I guess it technically could be a new segment. I was just going to ask, like, I guess as a first film in the franchise, this could be a new thing. As a first film in the franchise, how would we say it ranks? Because we have Iron Man, we have Santa Claus, and we have Alien.
Well, it's better than the Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
personally enjoy Iron Man more. But...
Yeah.
That's me and my slowness bias, I guess, coming out. One thing I guess people will get to realize about me, I have little patience for slowness for the most part, unless you've really captivated me. And I guess it didn't this time. But
Yeah. We know about that. We were once out walking and he saw an old man walking slowly with a walking stick, and he killed him.
I was really wondering where you were going with that. I thought it was going to go sexual.
No. What do you take me for?
I value speed, Ben. I value speed.
Don't know what that means.
See, I don't know where I'd rank this, because I don't know. I'm struggling between Iron Man and Alien, because I really enjoy both, if I'm perfectly honest.
I think they're far too. They appeal to different sides of my brain.
Yeah, these are very
Well.
subjective lists, it will be.
Yeah.
Because you're not rating in a franchise, you're rating in between franchises.
No. I guess I'd watch Iron Man over this, but I think
I think Alien's probably a better made film, but Iron Man to me is infinitely more entertaining.
it does have that bit where he shoots a tank.
Yeah, to be fair, I'll go with Iron Man only because I agree with what you were saying at the beginning of this, where I feel like Alien, you have to kind of be in the to watch it, whereas Iron Man, I feel like I could just stick on anytime, be happy watching it. Robert Downey Jr. and his antics. And Joe is dead. That or he just doesn't want to contribute.
His dog
Yes.
killed him. Oh.
We know Ben. We know Joe loves the MCU. Oh, so.
What were we talking about?
I kind of did a pseudo news segment where I was just like, so as a first film of, we have Santa Claus, Iron Man, and this. I guess it's all just personal preference. So, how would you rank those 3 films?
Oh, well, between Santa Claus, Iron Man, and Alien.
Yeah, first films of a franchise,
Alien. Iron
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Santa Claus.
as expected.
Is there any other way?
No doubt, but,
We-
we
we-
need a verbal confirmation for the stream that will forever be on the internet once uploaded to YouTube.
We all picked Iron Man for the record, so you're alone.
What?
It was a close one for me, but I did choose Iron Man at top.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine?
Is it- It's that bit where he's on the plane. They're like, "It's not a suit, it's me." That's why it's great.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, I'm surprised, but I shouldn't be.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I really shouldn't be surprised. Not that that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just
Before we go, Callum says, and I think Chris, you should watch Patriot, starring Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger. I swear, it isn't a 3-hour film that feels like 7.
If you want me to permanently descend into a coma, sure. Why not? Oh, we should probably.
it.
Oh, sorry.
I was watch Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That's the most boring film I've ever watched. So there you go.
Damn son.
If it's a franchise, you have a chance to put it up for a vote when we finally get done with Aliens.
It's not.
Good. it's the summary of that one. Shall we wrap this up here then?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, right. So, as you might have guessed, Aliens #1. I'm actually quite interested for next week with Aliens because I love Aliens, and for me it's definitely above. But it really does depend on what sort of film consumer you are. It'll be interesting to see where it goes with our little enclave of people. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It'll be interesting. But if you made it this far in a Blunt Lemons video, I'm going to assume you actually quite enjoyed it, because otherwise you've watched more than an hour worth of us talking about stuff that you didn't enjoy, and that you've got a problem then. It's not our problem, it's your problem for getting this far in a Blunt Lemons video. So, if you didn't like it and you somehow made it this far, like it anyway. You've already given us the metrics. Dion, plug the streams.
Yes, I have finally resumed streaming, and we are currently playing through Outer Wilds. Quite an interesting game with a constant death loop cycle. It's sort of Mass Effect style, trying to find out about these progenitors that came before. So if you want to see someone play through that for the first time, go ahead and join me on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. There we go. Otherwise, yes, we have the stream on Monday nights, and that's about it for the moment. We'll update you on the Discord, which has been linked, if more streams are to come.
Ben, plug the socials, and also give them a comment, of course, as
Please.
the master of socials.
Follow us on Twitter at Blunt Lemon. That's a good place if I ever used it. And a comment. Was anyone else triggered when he said "take your mask off" when they were both wearing masks? And I thought about this year and I got really sad. So there you go.
Well, it comes that part of every podcast, every Blunt Lemons endeavour, where Joe, with his years and years of countless wisdom, imparts on us just one final proverb, one parable that'll keep the kids on the straight and narrow, keep them off the streets, keep the drugs out of their veins. You know?
It's not what I do.
So,
It's the exact opposite.
Joe, sell them some heroin.
Yes. Okay, let's do it. It's $5.50 for a bag of 6. I don't know if that makes sense. I have no idea. Heroin.
It's $5.60 for... The funny thing is, I have no idea if that's accurate, but it sounds so very wrong.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye.